Testing. Hey everybody, being silly on here today. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, going live this afternoon on a Wednesday. Hopefully you're having a great day. Let y'all get in here a little bit. Knock knock. Until a joke, right? Knock knock. I'm supposed to say who's there, and I'm supposed to say the food that does not like bad weather, right? Knock knock. Who's there? The food that doesn't like bad weather. The food that doesn't like bad weather? Who? A cookie, because he doesn't like crummy days. Oh, that's too funny. All right, let's see if anybody laughs at that later on when y'all jump on here. I'm live. It's 1 minute. I'm waiting for some people to jump on here. Maybe I should be on my personal page. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about stocks or real estate, right? Stocks or real estate. If you're watching this video right now, you probably are invested in one or the other. You probably own a stock or you probably own some real estate. I own both, and I want to talk a little bit today about whether we should own stocks or own real estate, advantages, disadvantages. As you all know, I own real estate. I like real estate as an asset class, but I also own a little stock. So I'll talk a little bit about the differences between the two from my perspective, and hopefully that will share some insight with you guys. By the way, don't forget, I'd love to help you all. If I can help you in any way, just reach out to me. I buy houses, I buy apartments, I buy businesses that are running automatically, right? If you're not working in your business and you want to sell your business, reach out to me. And I also can do some lending. If the deal is just fantastic, I can connect you to some lending as well. But let's talk about stocks or real estate for a second. Let's see. So when I think about real estate, what's the coolest part about real estate to me is that you can leverage your way into real estate. Now, I'm starting right from there because I want you all to know I love borrowing money. I love borrowing money to buy assets, to be clear, to buy cash flowing assets. And I like real estate because you can borrow money to acquire it, right? You can go out and sometimes, in some cases, leverage your money up to 10 times getting into a real estate project. That means that you can buy $1 million asset sometimes with less than $100,000 or right at $100,000. And that is pretty cool to say that you can get control of something worth so much more than the capital you actually have. I love real estate as well because you can actually see it, right? I can drive by real estate, I can see it, I can touch it. And in a lot of cases, I'm able to control the outcome, right? Notice I didn't say in all cases, but in a lot of cases, I can control the value of my real estate by buying in great locations, by fixing it up if there's something wrong with it, by keeping the income on the real estate strong. I'm able to increase the value of that real estate, or at least make sure the value of that real estate never goes to zero, right? Real estate is pretty cool for that matter. I also love the fact that real estate is tax incentivized, right? Tax incentivized. The income on real estate seems to be taxed at a totally different way. If you have a personal home and you sell that home after living in it for a couple of years, right? You can sell that home, and in a lot of cases up to a certain profit, you don't pay taxes on those gains. Likewise, if you're an investor, taxes on real estate investment property are taxed differently than taxes on other types of business income. And we talk about this a little bit on our YouTube channel. You can always check us out on YouTube as well. And it's a YouTube channel. Look up Grab the Map Podcast and we're right there. But I love real estate for that matter. You can make income and it's not taxed quite as heavily as any other source of business income. I also absolutely love the fact that real estate has the power to appreciate over time. Real estate goes up in value most of the time. Have you ever heard of a house being worth less 30 years later than it was 30 years before? You think about what houses cost 20 years ago versus what houses cost now. A lot of us have experienced appreciation in the last few years just from 3 to 4 years of owning our homes. So love that fact that that happens, especially when we buy in great locations, when we buy in desirable areas. Real estate is cool. Real estate is cool. Last thing I'll say about real estate that I really like is that you can team up to acquire real estate. You might see those big fancy apartment buildings or those hotels. You might see those tall high-rise downtown buildings and think, I could never own that. But the fact is, that's not true. You can actually own those things. You can have your name on those buildings because you don't have to go at it alone. Real estate can be very much a team sport. And you can find people that are looking for operators to run the projects. You can find people that are looking for places to put their money. There's all kinds of people that get involved in the real estate space, and that can be a great factor about real estate investing. You can get on a team and do things you would never have been able to do by yourself. Now let's talk about the stock market as opposed, right? And you can tell my bias here, as opposed to some of the things that we just talked about. Well, let's think about the stock market, right? It is probably much more liquid than real estate. When I get ready to sell a stock, right, or sell a stock investment, usually I can sell it right then. I'm not waiting for a buyer to put it on the market and waiting on somebody to walk through it and dream that they like it. So the stock market can be a lot more liquid. It's very positive. It's probably a lot lower barrier to entry as well in getting into the stock market, right? You can get in a lot easier. There's a lot of educational materials. You don't actually have to go out and look for an asset, look for properties, build a team. You probably should build some kind of team and get some kind of education before you get in the stock market. But you can do that with the stock market. Another great thing about the stock market is that a lot of people have invested a lot of time. There are a lot of resources out there to educate you on how to get into the stock market, right? Similar to real estate, probably a lot of resources available for both, but it just seems like the time barrier if you're investing, not day trading or doing some kind of quick scalp thing or anything like that. If you're actually investing in great brands and great companies, I feel like there's a little quicker entry into the stock market. Now, on a negative end, a lot of times your stock gains are going to be taxed differently than real estate gains. And without going too far into it, let's just say that real estate beats stock investments when it comes to taxes, right? Another thing is that real estate often is more controllable than the stock market. Have you ever tried to control the value of whether a stock goes up or down? Have you ever tried to guess which way it's going to go? It seems like when I think it's going to go up, it goes down, and when I think it's going to go down, it goes up. I have absolutely no control over any stock that I invest in. I love real estate because real estate helps you be in control of your investments to some degree, to a lot more degree than the stock market. It seems like right now the stock market is plunging and everybody's watching the stock market, and there's news every day about whether we're in a bear market or bull market or recession. It seems like every day somebody's talking about the stock market. But what they're not telling you about, that I'm going to tell you about in this video, is that you can be a real estate investor and you're not even watching the stock market. Imagine being able to focus on your project, focus on your real estate project, focus on improving the asset by increasing the income, increasing the cosmetic appeal of the property, and not really having to stare every day at graphs and screens and wonder if it's up or down based on some magic pie in the sky thing that I don't even understand. Real estate is a lot more controllable. Get involved. Get with somebody who knows what they're doing, who's invested. Figure out how you can be a part of real estate deals. I'd love to have you be a part of some of my projects. If you've got any questions, hey, hit me up, private message me, put comments below, okay? But I thought I'd share a few thoughts today on the difference between the stock market and real estate investing. Of course, biased with real estate investing. If you don't own any real estate, right now would be a great time to get involved in the real estate market, especially if you're getting involved with investors who who are buying assets at great value prices, right? Not really sure now is the best time to get in if you're buying at the top of the market. But if you're buying at a discount, like a lot of investors in our group do, now's a great time to get in. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Everybody, don't just look at it. Grab the map. Talk to y'all later.